Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news now. As we look ahead to the 2025 NFL season, the San Francisco 49ers are once again at a crossroads. But this time, it's not just about new players or coaching strategies. It's about one of the most critical areas of the team that could define whether they make it back to the Super Bowl or face a tough challenge: their offensive line. And folks, if there's one thing that has been a constant for the 49ers over the years, it's their ability to build a formidable front that can both protect their franchise quarterback and create those explosive running lanes that make their offense so dynamic. But as we all know, the NFL is a league where the trenches are everything. And heading into the upcoming season, the question marks surrounding the 49ers' offensive line are more prominent than ever. For those who follow the team closely, you know that the offensive line has historically been a strength for San Francisco, especially during their recent Super Bowl runs. But this year, things look a little different. The team has made some moves, yes, but they still seem to be searching for that consistency, that stability up front. And that's where speculation about possible additions, like former Stanford standout Andrus Peat, comes into play. Now, Peat isn't just any veteran. He's someone with deep roots in the Bay Area, a local guy who played college ball at Stanford, and a player who's had a noteworthy NFL career, especially during his prime years with the New Orleans Saints. Let's take a moment to really understand who Andrus Peat is. He was a star at Stanford, an All-American, and a key part of one of the most successful offensive lines in college football during the early 2010s under coach David Shaw. His versatility, intelligence, and technique made him a highly coveted prospect, and in 2015 he declared for the draft, where he was picked 13th overall by the Saints. That's no small thing. A first-round pick with high expectations. And Peat met those expectations early, earning Pro Bowl honors 3 times in his career: 2018, 2019, and 2020, showing that when healthy, he was a reliable, solid presence on the line. But as we all know, NFL careers are often marked by injuries, and Peat's journey was no different. He battled some injuries during his tenure in New Orleans, which sometimes limited his playing time and affected his consistency. Still, when he was on the field, he was a dependable presence, especially at left guard, a position that's crucial for both run blocking and pass protection. During his prime, Peat was recognized not just as a solid starter, but as someone who could anchor a line and provide stability in the trenches. He spent 9 seasons with the Saints, a team that's known for its tough, gritty style of play. But in 2024, Peat made a move that surprised many. He signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, here's where things get interesting. That transition didn't quite go as planned. Unfortunately, Peat struggled to find his footing with the Raiders. His playing time diminished as the season wore on, and it was pretty clear that he wasn't the same player he had been in New Orleans. Injuries, age. At 31, some might argue he's entering the twilight of his career. But that's not necessarily a death sentence. Sometimes, a change of scenery, a different system, or even just a fresh start can reignite a player's career. And that's exactly what makes Peat's potential signing so intriguing for the 49ers. We're talking about a guy with ties to the Bay Area, someone who understands the culture, the expectations, and the pressure of playing in California. Plus, he shares the same alma mater as the team's general manager, John Lynch, which could make the decision a little more personal and strategic. Now, of course, at 31, there's a concern. Are we looking at a guy on the decline? Is he past his prime? Those are valid questions, and NFL teams have to weigh whether bringing in a veteran like Peat is worth the risk. But sometimes, in the NFL, it's not about signing the next superstar. It's about adding depth, experience, and a veteran presence to key positions, especially along the offensive line. The 49ers' offensive line has been a topic of discussion for a while now. They've shown confidence internally, with players like Trent Williams anchoring one of the best tackles in the league, and young talent like Spencer Burford and Jake Brendel fighting for starting roles. But as many fans will agree, having a reliable veteran to push competition and provide leadership is never a bad thing. The team has already made some moves in the draft, adding some depth pieces, but they haven't yet solidified their starting lineup, especially on the left side where Ben Bartch is currently penciled in. Bringing in someone like Peat could give them that extra layer of security, a guy who can step in if needed, mentor the younger players, and maybe even start if the opportunity arises. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Isn't this just a low-risk, low-reward type of move? And honestly, it's a fair point. Signing a veteran like Peat wouldn't break the bank, and it wouldn't excite fans with big headlines, but that's not the goal here. The goal is to make sure that the offensive line is as deep and versatile as possible. Because if there's one thing we've seen over the years with the 49ers, it's that their success is often rooted in their ability to dominate up front. When the line is solid, the entire offense functions smoothly. When it's not, well, the season can quickly take a turn for the worse. Looking at the bigger picture, the 49ers are operating in a highly competitive division, the NFC West, which is stacked with talent. The Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals are all making moves, and every game counts. The defense remains one of the best in the league, but as we all know, championship teams are built from the inside out. Having a strong, reliable offensive line is what allows the team's explosive playmakers, like Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk, to thrive. It's about creating the perfect balance, and sometimes that means taking a calculated risk on a veteran who's seen it all and can still contribute. And let's not forget, the 49ers have a rich history of reclamation projects. Players who were once considered past their prime or injury-prone have found new life in San Francisco. Look at Trent Williams himself. Many questioned whether he was still elite when he arrived, but he's become arguably the best tackle in the league. Or even players like Kyle Juszczyk, who's carved out a unique role as a fullback and leader in the locker room. The team's coaching staff and front office are experts at squeezing every ounce of value out of their roster. So, bringing in a veteran like Peat might not be such a long shot after all. As we approach training camp, the competition for starting spots will heat up, and the battle for the left guard position, in particular, will be one to watch. Right now, it's a bit of an open competition, and adding someone with Peat's experience could tip the scales. Plus, he's familiar with the type of zone blocking schemes the team prefers, and his versatility means he can plug in at multiple spots if needed. For a team that's hungry for that second Super Bowl title in 4 years, every detail counts, and depth along the offensive line is a detail that can make or break a season. So fans, it's worth watching how this situation unfolds. Will the 49ers pull the trigger and bring in Andrus Peat? Or will they continue to look to the draft or other free agents for help? Either way, it's a move that could bring a little extra insurance, a veteran presence, and perhaps even a spark of motivation for the entire offensive line. The team's management is known for their strategic moves, and sometimes, the quiet, smart moves are what lead to the biggest successes. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the San Francisco 49ers. Do you think bringing in Peat is a smart move, or should they focus elsewhere? I'd love to know your predictions for the offensive line in 2025 and how you see this team shaping up for another deep playoff run. Remember, the NFL is a league of small margins, and every addition, every decision, can have a huge impact on how the season plays out. So stay tuned, keep your passion alive, and I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news from the San Francisco 49ers. Thanks for being part of this community, and let's keep the faith. It's going to be an exciting year ahead.